Joomla is an open source project that's participated in by individuals and businesses from around the world. It's strictly a volunteer-based project. Everyone donates their time to build Joomla and make it a better product. Joomla has a very small budget, only about $400,000 a year, most of which comes from Google AdWords advertising. And it uses its money to help further its software by paying for travel expenses for some of the team leaders and paying for services like legal services and financial services to keep the business going. But in comparison with projects like Drupal and WordPress, which have millions of dollars of venture capital behind them, Joomla is really quite a remarkable project because of its volunteer nature and because of the fact that it doesn't have one person who's in charge setting direction for the project. Everything with Joomla is done as a group. Joomla itself is a Swahili word which means all together, and that is a philosophy that Joomla holds quite dearly. There's always a team of people making decisions about the direction of the project and what it should do next. So I wanted to show you a few places that you can give back to the Joomla project. If you're using Joomla commercially, you're building websites with it and you're getting paid for building those websites, I really believe you have an obligation to give back to the Joomla project. And you can do that financially. You can certainly make a donation to the Joomla project to help keep it running. But in some ways, even better is to donate your time. And there are very simple things you can do to help the Joomla project be the best it can be. First of all, if you speak a foreign language, Joomla is always looking for translators on its translation teams. And there are dozens of languages. In fact, this website says 64 languages that are supported. And the teams of people who work on translations translate all of Joomla's interface, both the front end and the back end, into languages from around the world, into translation packs, which we used earlier in setting up the French portion of our website. So translation is a great way to get involved if you speak a foreign language. The Joomla forum is one of the most active forums that is out there, and this is a great place to go and ask questions or to answer their questions. My good friend Ken Crowder said that he learned Joomla by going to the forum here, and for every question he asked about Joomla, he made sure he answered 2. There are places in the forum that are designed for absolute beginners, and I would encourage you to start there because once you've watched this video from start to finish, you are very qualified to go to the beginner forums and start answering questions. It's a great way to reinforce your learning, and it's a great way to give back to the community. And of course, if you do have questions along the way about anything in Joomla that you have encountered, you can certainly go to the forum and ask those questions as well. Just be sure to answer a few while you're there. The Joomla Community Magazine is a group of articles that's published once a month by a wonderful team of people who put together these articles, and they cover all aspects of Joomla, and not just configuration of Joomla, but also Joomla from a business perspective, Joomla from a developer perspective of running a business, things that are going on in the Joomla community in terms of leadership, as well as any upcoming events, are all listed here in the Joomla Community Magazine. The magazine is released on the 1st of every month, very, very consistently, and they are always looking for writers, for anyone who wants to write an article about Joomla or a very closely related topic. You can also volunteer to help with webmastering duties here on the Joomla Community Magazine. You can help proofread or edit articles. So there's many ways that you can give back. You'll find the magazine team is a very friendly group of people. I regularly write articles here on the Joomla Community Magazine. We're looking at the February edition right here, and you'll see that I've been writing a series of articles right now in Joomla ACL that you may find helpful. Joomla user groups are my absolute favorite thing in the whole world. Joomla user groups are set up by people who feel passionately about Joomla from around the world, and get together a group of your close Joomla friends and find a meeting place and get together, say once a month, preferably at the same time, preferably in the same location, to talk about Joomla and to learn from each other. It's a great way to support those who are new to Joomla. It's a great way to learn something new yourself. And if you are an expert at Joomla and you know lots of things about it, it's a great place to go and help others because, back at one point in time, you didn't know anything about Joomla either. So keep that in mind. And Joomla user groups, you can go to this website and take a look and see what Joomla user groups are near you. If you don't find one near you, I encourage you to start one. They're very easy to start. They're easy to get them going and have lots of people in attendance. And you can find speakers from all around the world. People are happy to speak to user groups by Skype. And you'll learn a ton by interacting with your fellow Joomla people. So many occasions I've heard from people in Joomla user groups. They said, I do this Joomla work at my house, in my room, with the door shut, with just me and my computer. And I think about all the cool things that I've learned, and I have no one to share them with because no one understands what I'm talking about. But I go to a Joomla user group meeting, and I can geek out with all of the rest of my fellow Joomies, and it's just a wonderful thing. So I encourage you, get involved with your local Joomla user group. Joomla User Group New England is our user group up in our corner of Vermont and New Hampshire, and we just love Joomla. It's a great group. Finally, once you've got your Joomla user group going, you might set up a Joomla Day event, or you might have a Joomla Day event that's happening somewhere near you. Joomla Days are just a group of enthusiastic people who have gotten together who said, hey, let's have a one-day conference on Joomla. We'll get people to come in from locally and from potentially across the country, perhaps even internationally, and they can come and present their information to all of their fellow attendees, network, get to know more about Joomla, find out what the latest things are, catch up with old friends. Joomla Days are just wonderful events. I've been to several of them, loved it every single time. And you can see here we have a lot of Joomla Day events happening around the world right now. One happening in Thailand in February, Guatemala late February and early March. And we got Joomla Day France coming up after that. And then Joomla Day New England happening on March 31st. And we always have a great time at Joomla Day New England. We're running our 4th event for our 4th year, and we thoroughly enjoy all the networking and getting all of our fellow Joomla friends together to just have a wonderful time learning what's new with Joomla. So again, if you are making money with Joomla, I really believe you have an obligation to give back to the project. I've given you a few ways you can do that. I've given you a few ways to get help and to get involved with the Joomla community. I've always said Joomla people are the nicest people in the world. And if you happen to see me at a conference, come on up and say hi. I'm always really happy to meet lynda.com viewers and talk to you about your experiences with my videos.